Hi guys, this is 5 steps to lose your belly, regain your strength and boost your energy level, even if you have zero motivation, time, energy or knowledge. Now just think for a moment, in 2 months from today you can feel fitter, look healthy and have the strength and energy you had in your 20s and start to enjoy the rest of your life with confidence over your health. Now this type of strategy is way easier than what you might think. When I share it with you, you'll see why. Now, my name is David Lafferty. I help to empower busy people over 40 to get lean, energized, and strong in a very short amount of time. A little bit about me. I'm 51 years of age. I'm a former soldier of 25 years. I was an engineer by trade. I was very fit and healthy during my army career, but when I left, my entire routine changed and I got stuck in a rut. And I lost my motivation. I started to put on weight. I developed a lot of bad habits with my food and I felt tired and stressed a lot of the time. And although I didn't realize it at the time, looking back, people weren't getting the best of me. And what I did notice was that I didn't like the person I'd become because my lifestyle was clashing with my core values. I'd always taken pride in the way I looked and the way I felt. And I just wanted to look and feel healthy again and kind of get my mojo back. And also imagining what my future might look like, I decided to do something about it. And I did start running again. I threw some weights around, but I couldn't really get my weight down. I started to question the conflicting information about health and weight loss on the internet because it's a minefield, as you well know. It's designed primarily for one thing, and that's to make money. And the misconceptions around weight loss and gaining strength have been staggering. And since I've adopted this leading way of thinking, my energy levels have skyrocketed. I don't experience the pains and problems I used to have. I eat what I want within reason. Hardly anything is off the menu, and I'm currently working out for about 1.5 hours each week, sometimes less. And that's returned to me a great level of confidence about my body. It's like it was when I was in my 20s. In fact, it's even better because I look fitter and healthier than what I did back then. So if you adopt what I'm about to share with you, you will develop a body that delivers confidence over your appearance and a level of vitality that will change all aspects of your life. Now, you might think you can't do this, okay, because you've got no time or you lack motivation or maybe you've no energy. Perhaps you've tried before, but you fell off the wagon. But what I'm going to share with you now is going to fill you with confidence because it's way easier and much more time efficient than what you probably think it is. And it works fast. And it's backed by scientific studies, which you can get from me upon request if you want to see them. Now, this is for you if you're tired of the way you look. Maybe you look in the mirror and you just feel gutted because life kind of got in the way and you feel like you've let yourself go. You might be low on energy and instead of experiencing quality time with your family or friends, you just want to relax from your busy week at work. Perhaps your habits are bad and you feel like you just haven't got what it takes to turn it around. And we tend to worry more about our future, don't we, as we get older? Maybe you've noticed 1 or 2 people that have gone way before their years. Couple of people that you know, and it's made you question your mortality. It's perfectly reasonable for that to happen. And it's no surprise because when we hit 40, the quality of our health declines rapidly. And there's no way of stopping it unless we start to take care of ourselves. But what if you could completely transform yourself by committing a maximum of 1.5 hours exercise each week? A transformation that makes you feel 10, 20, 30 years younger so that you got more confidence over the future of your health. It makes you feel more positive with bags of energy so you can enjoy your time inside and outside of work. Imagine losing your belly and being lean, strong, and finally having pride in your appearance because it's not only possible. If you can commit to this stuff, it's just inevitable. There can be no other outcome if you show some commitment. But what if you struggle with motivation? Now, we've all struggled with motivation and it's awful, that inertia where you just can't prise yourself up to go and do something. Now, sometimes we do get a bit of motivation, but it very quickly runs out because we either didn't take the initiative or we just didn't know where to start, or both. So the key to becoming highly motivated is to have a plan. First, you've got to create a vision of what you want your everyday life to look like and reverse engineer it by putting compelling goals on that path towards your vision. So they're all steps, they're just stepping stones. So this is step 1, you specify and reverse engineer your vision. So your vision is like your meta goal. You've got to get specific though. You've got to get granular. Look at it this way. How are you going to get what you want if you're not exactly sure what it is? How are you going to hit the target if it's a bit woolly, a bit vague? It's highly unlikely to materialize. So you've got to know exactly how you want to look and how you want to feel. And ask yourself why. Now, why do you want to lose your belly and be lean and strong? Why do you want more energy? What would that mean to you, your partner, your children? How might it improve your confidence, your intimacy with your partner, your output at work? Do you want to reignite your relationship? What would living longer mean to you and your family? Imagine how much more present you're going to feel when you're spending time with your children. Being fit and healthy expands your potential because you're much more capable. You're energized, positive, confident. You make better decisions. You're more ambitious. Write your vision down to consolidate your thinking and define exactly what you want. And we can use fear and inspiration. I'm quite a positive guy, but I use fear as a tool to give me even more motivation. And it's a very powerful strategy. So what does life look like in 6 months' time if you don't take action? In 2 years' time, 5 years' time, 10 years' time? Take a look around you at the people that don't take any action. And the average of that will be representative of you when you get to that age. How tired and de-energized do you feel now if you're only going to get consistently worse? How does your current energy level affect your relationship? What's it going to be like in 5 years' time if you don't do anything? Your relationships with your family, your friends, your kids. How nauseating is it getting up for work on a Monday morning? How does driving home from work feel? How do you feel when you're getting from work? Your motivation might be quite low, so what is it going to be like in 6 months' time? Now, on the other side of that, we've got the inspiration, because you've got this vision of where you want to be. And on your way towards that vision, you're going to start incrementally improving all aspects of your life until ultimately you reach that utopia in your life. Write everything down, how all the improvements are going to affect your life. And this is step 2. This is where we start moving towards our vision. Now we're on the path. You're going towards your new self here. We need to create these goals so that we can ensure we achieve a certain thing by a certain time. And again, get specific. And once you make clear, compelling goals, you'll actually start to see progress. And when you do, your energy and motivation skyrockets even more, making weight loss and weight management easier and much more exciting. Because you can see it's working. It's going to pull you forwards more quickly. You're going to be enthused, excited, energized, because you're getting the results. And this is an example of a goal here. You've got to get specific with your goals. You've got to be measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. It's SMART, an acronym for a good goal. And then a good example there would be to lose 10 pounds of body fat in 10 weeks. And that fits all of the criteria in a SMART goal. It's specific, yeah, 10 pounds. Measurable, yeah, 10 pounds over 10 weeks at the halfway point. Have I lost 5 pounds? Yeah, you can measure whether or not it's working. Is it achievable? Yeah, it's reasonable to accept that you can lose a pound of body fat each week. It's fairly easy. Is it relevant? Yeah, because ultimately I want to change the way I look and the way that I feel, and losing body fat is going to help me do that. And it's also time bound, 10 weeks. And you may not get it right first time. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Okay. Many goals need to be adjusted halfway through, a quarter of the way through. Sometimes you might need to change the goal altogether, and that's fine. But you've got to have something to aim at. Otherwise, you won't hit a target. So what do you actually need to do? Well, this is the NHS's recommendation. I don't find it particularly inspiring, but you've got to do strengthening activities that work all of the major muscle groups on at least 2 days a week. Do at least 150 minutes of moderate intensity activity a week, or 75 minutes of vigorous intensity activity a week. And spread exercise evenly over 4 to 5 days a week or every day. Now, did you get all that? I mean, it's not particularly specific anyway, is it? I don't find it particularly inspiring. It doesn't really appeal to me. It isn't going to make me jump out of bed at 6 o'clock in the morning. How about this? It can be as little as 3 or even 2 40-minute sessions a week. To develop your body, you need to focus on hypertrophy muscle building. I don't mean like a bodybuilder. This isn't bodybuilding. And this isn't running around and swinging loads of weights around. It's nothing like that. It's about developing a strong, functional, healthy physique. You may be wondering why there are no traditional cardio sessions in there. But that's because the cardiovascular benefits you'll get from this vastly outweigh what you would get from traditional cardio. Why build muscle? Because it's going to give you the ability to lose fat on overdrive, and it's going to completely transform your physique. And sarcopenia as well. As we get older, we lose up to 10% of muscle mass each decade. And weight loss becomes increasingly difficult, and the accumulation of body fat becomes very easy, despite dieting. Dieting alone doesn't work. If you build muscle, you'll be burning way more glucose in your body than you would otherwise get stored as fat. And this strategy solves it in only a fraction of the time. There are other benefits, including increases in bone density, reduced risk of arthritis, osteoporosis, and many, many other things. But how do I build muscle, do cardio, and lose fat at the same time? You will train to muscular failure to build muscle. And this will improve your cardiovascular system to a great extent. And a substantial byproduct of that will be the loss of body fat. And I'd like you to now just to start changing the way you think. Stop reaching into these magazines, to internet websites that are selling things. Focus on the science, not the beliefs that you may have adopted through marketing and ads. This is a scientific strategy that has been proven under laboratory conditions. It isn't new, but it has been ignored by the masses and actually crowded out by marketing fads and misconceptions. Remember that many websites and magazines are full of ads, and to a great extent, their primary goal is to convince you to put your hand in your pocket. If you want confidence over what you do, read the scientific literature. Otherwise, the chances are you're going to be wasting so much time and energy in what you're trying to achieve. You need to consider where you're going to train as well. You can train at home, obviously. You can train in the gym. You can train with resistance bands. You can train with free weights. You can train with machines. You can train just with calisthenics, so no equipment at all. There are ways and means of being able to achieve this. So have a think about how you want to achieve it. Do you want to go to the gym? It's more social in a gym, social environment there, but it is quite limited, so you aren't going to necessarily get the equipment that you want for the exercises that you want to perform. Whilst you're at home, there's no social aspect, but you could equip yourself with the types of equipment that you want to be able to fulfill your needs. There's loads and loads of pros and cons which you need to consider. So this is it. This is step 3. Okay, this is the conditioning phase. So you work in pairs back to back. You see the pairs. There's 4 pairs there, and they're push and pull pairs. A common question I get is, how much weight do I need to lift? How do I know? Well, there are a couple of ways. There's a really scientific way called the 1 rep max, which we're not going to go through here. I can talk about that more if you want to, or maybe on a call or something like that, or some training. But what you need to do is you need to achieve 12 to 15 repetitions, as you can see there on the right-hand side of the table. So you need to select a weight, and you might not get this right first time. It might take you a couple of weeks to get all this form right and all this criteria. That's fine. This is all about perfecting what you do. You need to be aiming for between 12 and 15 reps, and at which point, in between that 12 and 15 reps, you get to a point where you reach muscular failure. Muscular failure is where you cannot perform a repetition in good form. You've reached maybe 12, 13 repetitions. You simply could not do another repetition. And then that's where you've reached positive failure. And looking there, you've got to do 1 to 3 sets as well. I advise staying on the lower range of that at first. So just do 1 set in the first week, see what that feels like. Maybe do 2 of these exercises per week, maybe a Monday, maybe a Friday. You need a minimum of 72 hours recovery in between exercises, because we need to recover. Because if we don't recover, we're not going to make any gains. We're actually going to make our condition worse. You may not perfect this for a few weeks. These are all over body sessions, by the way, and you may not perfect this for a few weeks. You may have to work on getting the right amount of weight. And some of these exercises can be substituted and be either entirely calisthenics, resistance bands, combinations, machines, and free weights. Now, there are substitute exercises that you can use. Remember, it's a conditioning phase working towards a split routine with high intensity strategies. That's what you're looking towards, okay? And it's going to significantly reduce your gym time and amplify your results when you get past this conditioning phase. This is moderate intensity with positive failure. So that's the format. 2 to 3 times each week with 48 hours rest. If you think you're working a bit harder than that, you go for 72, like I said. 2 to 3 sets with 45 seconds after each pair. Start off with 1 set, and then if you think you need to do another one, do another one. They should last approximately 40 minutes if you're doing 2 sets, and they are push-pull supersets. Now, progressive overload. You need to be logging what you do. Once you've logged your exercises, how many sets you've done, how many reps you've done, the following week, you need to be improving on that. You will be improving on that because you will be getting stronger. Say, for example, you do this on a Friday, you look at the chest there, you did 2 sets and you managed 15 reps each set. Great. And you were lifting 60 kilograms. So the following week, because you've gone to the top of that range, go to 65 kilograms. You should be looking at 5 to 10% increase. And what that will do, that will bring you back down into the rep range as well. If you get to 10 reps, if you can only get to 10 reps, you can't reach 12, don't stop and reload. You'll be stronger the next week and you'll reach 12. But you should always be progressing. This is progressive overload. So recovery, very, very important. Don't overdo it. Make sure you get enough rest in between workouts. Do it twice each week. Start with 1 set and build from there. Make sure you get enough sleep as well. You're looking for a minimum of 7 hours. Aim for 7 hours. As we get older, we tend to sleep less. So if you can aim for 7 hours, you should get enough sleep, because when you sleep, that's when most of the recovery happens. So in order to make sure you do get good sleep, roll back on the caffeine, don't have any in the afternoon, or try not to have any in the afternoon, or cut down on it. Have a good sleep routine as well. Make sure you get to bed at the right time. Finally, we're moving on to nutrition. This is step 5. So getting the right nutrition is mostly about changing your relationship with food. And we don't do this overnight. So to understand nutrition, I'll just go down one of my calculators just to be able to explain it a bit more clearly. So this is a weight loss and carb cycling planning workbook. We're just going to focus on the weight loss at the moment. Now, first of all, what you need to get is your basal metabolic rate, or your resting metabolic rate. And that's just the amount of calories that you need at bed rest. Okay, so that's just for your nervous system to function, your heart, your lungs, your brain. Your brain actually burns more calories than any other organ in your body. And if you can get this, you work this out, and you can start to plan from there for weight loss and the amount of weight you want to lose as well. And you can really tinker around with all the macronutrients in your diet if you want to. And you can get really, really granular with it. I don't suggest you do this right at the very start. It's all about changing the relationship with food just to get that foundational knowledge, and then you can start playing around with this and adjusting it, monitoring your weight. And it's pretty cool, actually. I enjoy using this because you've got the figures here, you've got the facts. The only other thing you need is a scale, and then you can play around with your goals. If it gets too hard, you can always reduce the calorie deficit, or you can increase it if it's too easy. So anyway, let's start at step 1. So step 1, you just input your weight in kilograms, and then you input your height, your weight, and your age. So let's do me then. So I'm currently 87 kilograms. My height, I'm 183. If you work in feet, well, there's a conversion over here, but I'm sure you probably know that. You can work it out on the internet, no problem. So I'm 6'1", I'm 185. I'm actually 184. I'm sure I've got a 184 in here. I'm nearer to 185 than I am 183. So there you go. And I'm aged 51 years of age. And that gives me a figure of 1,854 calories. That's the amount of calories that my body needs just to stay alive. You'll notice when you wake up in the morning, you look at your watch, you've burnt loads of calories, probably about 400 calories. You're just constantly burning calories all the time. Then we move down to step 2. Then we need to add our physical activity level. Now, we're probably going to be working out 2 days a week, and having 5 days without any intense exercise. So you probably have to do this twice just to get more precise and granular, and just so you can monitor and measure your goals more effectively as well. So your basal metabolic rate is there. Look, 1,854. That's what we calculated before there. And then our physical activity level, well, let's say I'm doing a really, really tough session, say a 2.1, so 2.1 in there, okay? And that gives me a total of 3,894 calories. And that's just to maintain my current weight. So that's how many calories we need just to maintain our current weight. Now, we can select a different deficit if we want. I'm going to go for 500 calorie deficit, so minus 500. And to maintain my weight is still that. Look, it's still there. This table is just for adjusting the amount of calories that you want to be in deficit. So 500 calorie deficit, and that adjusts the numbers down here. Okay, so if I want to maintain my current weight, 3,894, it matches. But if I want to lose weight, 500 calories every day, okay, for £1 a week, then I need to be consuming 3,394. And as I said, if you find this too easy, you can always increase the calorie deficit as well. Say, I'll go for a 700 calorie deficit, and that adjusts the number even more. 3,194 calories, that's all I need. So then we go down to the actual table that tells us everything. So I'll just adjust that, and you'll see the 3 levels here. So that's a calorie deficit, that's maintenance, and that's if I want to gain weight. If you want to gain weight, as in there, look, 4,394, 4,394, that's how many calories I need if I want to gain £1 each week. And if we're going into serious bodybuilding, really trying to get some massive gains, training loads and loads and loads, probably doing a volume-based exercise routine, perhaps we might do that, but we don't want to do that. We want to lose weight. 3,194 calories. And as you can see over here, this must add up to 1, okay? Because that's 100% of those calories. Now, these are carbs, protein, and fat. So carbs, 40%, protein, 40%, and fat, 20%. So that's like a standard 40-40-20 diet, okay? And you can see the calorie split there. So that's how many calories are in each one, are in each macro. And those are the total amount of grams of each one as well. So I'd need 319 grams of carbs, 319 grams of protein, and 71 grams of fat. Say I wanted to do, say, 30%. 30% is pretty standard to maintain, to build muscle. I'd have to make that up somewhere else, and maybe I go for 10% more fat, get some really, really good quality fats in me, and I can go for a 40-30-30 diet. So now I need 240 grams of protein, split over 3 or 4 meals in the day. I'm not going to talk about calorie cycling or carb cycling at the moment. That's a little bit more technical, but this is just the bog standard way if you're serious about losing weight and eating the right food. And start reading your food labels so you know that what you're consuming. So then you can make more informed decisions about what you buy. So you're looking for complex carbohydrates and not simple carbs. What you don't want to do is spike that blood sugar and give yourself a crash as well. Then you start putting weight on because you've got too much energy in your body that gets turned to fat. So we're opting for whole grains, pulses, legumes, and avoiding the white carbs like pasta and potato, white rice, sugars, sugary drinks and snacks and pastries. There's hardly any nutrients in these because they've been processed out. They will just give you spikes and crashes. You're just going to feel sluggish, moody, and tired. And learn more about nutrition as you go along and understand your macronutrients. But don't let it overwhelm you. Over time, you'll keep picking up information on nutrition. Just be interested in it, and stick to the facts and keep it simple. So to recap the steps then, create your vision, okay, what you want your life to look like, and develop your goals, work towards that vision, and decide where you're going to work out, and start with whole body workouts to condition yourself and get the basics right. You've got like a moderate to high intensity there, and then increase the intensity over time, because that's when you can start making some serious gains with what you want to achieve. And once you get this nailed, and of course, once you start to make those serious gains in increasing the intensity, you're decreasing your time that you're working out as well. So it's a win-win. And once you get this nailed and it becomes a habit, you can lose weight even more quickly with a calorie-controlled diet. But for now, focus on incrementally changing your lifestyle and your relationship with food. Make exercise a habit, and it won't be long before it's something that you won't want to do without. And of course, step 4, recovery. Make sure you get enough sleep. Make sure you get enough protein as well. Make sure you're not overdoing it, not giving yourself enough rest in between workouts. And get yourself a plan based on these principles. Don't forget the good sleep routine. So now you know the 5 steps to lose your belly, regain your strength, and boost your energy level. Of course, how are you going to implement what I've taught? Well, if you'd like me to map it out for you, or we could map it out together, get an actionable plan personalized to you, then let's book a call. I'll ask you some questions and help you see a path. We can talk about some of the challenges you're facing right now, strategies. I can answer any questions you have moving forwards. So have a think now of any questions you'd like to ask. And remember, no question is a stupid question. And you're likely to be thinking of a question that many, many other people want to ask, but they were too afraid to ask it. Now, the call is completely free, okay? It's 30 to 45 minutes or however long it takes, but I've got time. And the call is there for you to help clarify what I've just taught. And I'm not going to hard sell you. But if you do want more help after that, then we can talk about what I do, but only if you want to. Just message me back and let's find a good time. I'm contactable. I can give you my calendar details as well, but all my email and everything is on there and is on the screen there. Just get in touch with me and let's get you moving forward. I hope you've enjoyed the training and I'll see you on the other side. Take care. Bye for now.